An American woman's harrowing account of her almost year-long ordeal behind bars in Russia. In her first national television interview, Sarah Krivanek told me her saga of being entangled in the Russian legal system, the harsh conditions at the penal colony where she says she was assaulted by a male inmate, and how she feels she's been abandoned.
After nearly a year in a Russian prison, Sarah Krivanek is back home in the U.S. and speaking out in her first network TV interview.
What's on your bruschetta? Come back.
The English teacher had been living in Russia since 2017. Last November, she was arrested for assaulting her roommate with a knife. She says he was abusing her, and she acted in self-defense.
He comes busting through the door, busts the door down, breaks the TV, picks me up by my hair and throws me across the room and starts thumping on me. I'm completely covered in bruises like a raccoon across my eyes.
The next month, after visiting the U.S. Embassy, a diplomatic official arranged for the 46-year-old to fly back to the U.S., but she was taken into custody at the Moscow airport prior to boarding. Krivanek says she thought she was free to go. At her trial in February, just weeks before the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Krivanek was sentenced to 15 months in a penal colony.
I start bawling. I'm just sobbing. I can't even speak. I can't speak in English. I can't speak in Russian. I'm just gibberish.
Do you believe that your status as an American and the war in Ukraine had any bearing on your fate?
Absolutely had 100% bearing. If this situation would have happened at an earlier time or a different time in history, I wouldn't have been sentenced at all. And shortly after I was sentenced, on the 11th of February, was detained another American in the airport on the 17th.
Brittany Griner.
Yeah, which was Miss Griner. So I believe that a person could easily say, of course they used these two situations as an advantage for their political agenda.
There's a stark contrast between the attention paid to WNBA star Brittany Griner's case and Krivanek's. Unlike Griner, the State Department never classified Krivanek as wrongfully detained.
It feels like that my patriotism or my citizenship to my own country meant absolutely nothing. They might as well have just left me there. They completely throw out the fact that another human being, another American citizen, is also going through, her sufferings with no support.
You said you were angry. Who are you angry at?
I'm angry at our U.S. government.
Why?
For leaving me there behind to rot. They said, we are working on your case very diligently. Somebody is going to come out to see you in the colony. Nobody ever came.
Krivanek served her time in a remote penal colony housing male and female inmates. She says she had no way to communicate with the outside world. She was desperate for anyone outside the prison to know where she was.
I thought I could complain about the prison administration and the conditions of how I'm living to the right person. No, you cannot do that. And my punishment was soft compared to what they can do to you. So I took my punishment like a lamb to the slaughter.
So you weren't being physically punished?
No, not by the guards.
By who?
I have no supplies, no food, no vitamins, no medicine, no phone calls. I make one complaint and I'm assaulted by a male inmate that was guarded by other female inmates and other inmates standing post. Then the psychological damage that comes from that is, it's my fault. So I'm humiliated. All my privileges are taken away. I can't even go to the cafeteria. I can't use any of the food. I can't even go into the kitchen. I can't use any cutlery or dishes anymore. I had to go out and find my own spoon, cup, and bowl.
After this punishment,
I never complain again.
how far away did freedom feel?
2.5 months, forever. Forever, eternity.
Across the world in California, and unbeknownst to Krivanek, her longtime friend Anita Martinez had been working tirelessly to get answers.
I wrote letters to the White House, to the State Department, to the embassy. I said, Sarah has absolutely nothing to bargain with. She's in there alone with absolutely nothing. All I'm asking is to just help me help my friend. That's it.
What made you want to help Sarah so much?
She has a good heart. I know Sarah. I just know her.
It must be almost overwhelming to feel so loved and cared for like that.
I have no words to express my appreciation except that I give up prayers for her. And when I learned that Anita was fighting for me, anytime that I could find a candle, I would light a candle for her and I would put my prayers up for her.
In November, Krivanek was back in court and formally deported by the Russian government. At the same time, the U.S. government was negotiating a prisoner swap. Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout, in exchange for Griner's release from a 9-year sentence for drug charges. On December 8th, both women left Russia.
I'm really glad that she got out. I wrote her a letter from the deportation detention facility I was in, said, you know, don't worry, nobody's going to leave you behind, or everybody's supporting you. Prison life is going to be very cruel. You're going to need to learn your opponent so you could survive. So I was genuinely, as a human being, worried, what is she going to do for 9 years? I just felt sorry for her because I thought she's going to make a lot of mistakes and infractions that cost me. But then she got swapped. I literally, genuinely had joy that she doesn't have to endure that.
Now Krivanek is focusing on her physical and emotional recovery, still grappling with feeling forgotten by the U.S. government, which she says has not reached out to her since her return.
What message do you have to the Biden administration and the American government?
That all American citizens should get the same level of service, no matter what the situation is. Don't forget about me and don't forget about the others.
In a statement, the State Department says it has no greater priority than the safety and security of U.S. citizens overseas, and adds the U.S. Embassy in Moscow did provide assistance on Krivanek's case for more than a year, including coordinating with Russian authorities to ensure her safe return home. As for Brittany Griner, who returned to the U.S. on the same day as Krivanek, she has a new message this morning, and we'll have much more on that coming up at 8 o'clock.
Wow. Such a compelling interview, Will.
Yeah. She said she feels like the forgotten American.
Fascinating. Well, thank you for that.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.